Ha! Love a good focus pull. Oh. Oh, is that the bear that showed? It's from the trailer. Good, isn't it? Miyako, right? I mean, yeah, she's completely naked for the second time now. It's kind of hard to miss. Wow, the panic, the... How about that? Yeah. Okay, good. Oh. Look how good that looks. The focus pull on the boob. Look at that background though. That's from the trailer, isn't it? That too. Sorry, it's impossible not to remember in like... Oh! The transition. Let's go! God damn, I love this score so much. I was gonna say, yeah, this appears to be a female. Oh, is that right? Okay, he's gonna have to take a different approach. Oh, look at this! Ah, look at this, using the guts to tie her up. Bit of a Star Wars reference there. Ooh. Oh shit! From the trailer. Con. Wow. The leech devil and that voice though for Con. Whoa! Yes! New characters. From the movie theater? Rookies, okay. Wow, this looks so good. Look, oh. Con, that was so cool. Love the sound design. The Fox Devil. Though he can kind of understand. He made a deal. Is he gonna cover for her?
よく見れば公安の服を着ていたし、お礼を言いたくて。
男の命なんて知るかって。悪魔が俺ごと車を投げたんだ。
俺がもっと詳しく調べて上に報告すれば、血の魔人もそれをかばったお前も処分される。だが
Even this looks so incredible.
お前が一つだけ条件を飲むなら、今回は見逃してやる。俺はお前より先輩だし、社会正義も持っているつもりだ。
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
聞いていれば、お前は今の生活を守れるぜ。
頭に入れといてやら。安心してくれ。てめえと同じぐらい。俺、マジでやっからさ。どーんと期待しといてくれ。
本当にいいのかな。
I like her.
魔人ちゃんがいつか人を殺したときは、見逃したアキカンの責任だぞ。
俺たちは
That gorgeous eye.
あくまでも魔人でも使えるもんは何でも使うべきだ。でも敵は敵。利用するだけです。慣れ合うつもりはないですよ。
Need a backstory for Aki. I mean, they've hinted at it. Gotta look sharp, gotta look sharp. Oh.
またコウモリヒルからは共に銃の肉片は発見されませんでした。
でもデンジ君とパワーちゃん知らず知らずのうちにそんなに遠くまで行っちゃったんだね。
今回は死者も出ませんでしたし、結果として悪魔2体の駆除もできましたから不問にしてよろしいかと。
早川君も少し頭が柔らかくなった。デンジ君と一緒に住んでる影響かな。
まさか何も変わってないですよ、俺は。
Oh. Oh. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love this. The simplicity and the... Oh. Just the sights and sounds of morning. There's something really quite soothing about it in this presentation of it, though. See, this excites me. This excites me. Wow. That's the shot. That's the shot. Love the minimal dialogue. It feels so authentic, doesn't it? That's cute. Bro!
早川くんちの部屋一つパワーちゃんに貸してほしいの。君ならデンジ君とパワーちゃんのいい首輪になれるからね。
なんで俺の家にヤバいやつばかり集めるんですか。
私が早川くんを一番に信用しているからだよ。
Tis mine now. Super toast.
はい。
ずっとこっちに住まわせるのも変だしね。
That scene of him just in the morning routine, that was just phenomenal. Hey!
人参野菜を投げるの。て
めえ、野菜作った農家に失礼って思う。
Yeah, look at that.
トイレクソはたまにしか流さんはじゃ。
流せ。
くせえんだよ。
風呂はたまにしか入らんはじゃ。
入れ。
くせえんだよ。
Look at this dynamic now. I love how Denji's kind of domesticated. Oh, yes. Look at this perspective. He kind of forgot about it.
約束だったじゃろ。もめ。
Jiggle animation.
俺どうした？嬉しいじゃろ。もめもめ。
She's really playing it up.
胸を揉んでいい回数は3もみじゃ。にゃーこを助けたのが1もみ、コウモリを殺したので2もみ、そしてちょんまげからわしをかばってくれたので3もみじゃ。うぬの頑張りに報いての3もみ。ありがたく揉むんじゃな。
Squeeze them gratefully. Look at this reaction though. Wow.
天使
And then you see the horns. Okay. All right, folks. Episode 4. That ending, once again, it's quite the tonal shift from the last one. The bombastic, hardcore ending of episode 3. And, I liked it quite a bit. I really enjoyed that quite a bit. But yeah, this one, of course, a different approach, a different presentation, though, of course, the art style and the animation, it really is perfect for the approach that was being taken for this one. Essentially, it appears to be a power-centric ending. I mean, it is. Yes, a few of the other characters make a quick appearance. And notice how Makima is the one that wasn't singing in that one frame. I mean, it had a really cutesy presentation, right? Even the song and the lyricist of the song, all of it was just really quite wholesome, really quite delightful. And, Power's little dance, of course, that was really quite cute. Like I mentioned, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of cosplayers, cosplaying Power and then doing that dance at cons. But I did like that change up as well, that, this one was more of a character-centric ending, right? The focus, the focal point of that ending is clearly Power, right? And, in that sense, she's also prominently featured throughout this episode, though I think there's a great balance there. Power, Denji, and even Aki. So it's great to have some insight and some focus for Aki, though, of course, this is just scratching the surface, right? Still early stages, early days. So yeah, that's a backstory I really, really, look forward to. I mean, they've hinted at it a few episodes ago. And yeah, the introduction of Khan, his, devil, essentially, he had a contract with this fox devil. So that really spices things up as well, right? Because, not everything is, yes, he explains it, right? He explains how it comes to be, and how he's able to kind of call upon it. And I mean, god damn, that was cool, right? I mean, how cool is Aki as a character? And before I go any further, let's talk about the morning sequence. Oh my goodness, that slice of life, morning routine that's kind of injected into it. Love that sequence. In fact, I think that's one of my favorite parts of this anime so far. I mean, that's like a top 3 moment for me out of the 4 episodes. Like, honestly, I just love that so much. The presentation of it, the simplicity of it, the mundane beauty that is a morning routine, right? It's this important time, and I love the prolonged nature of it. It really helps kind of selling its authenticity, doesn't it? I just ate that up. Man. And I love, like I mentioned, I love the minimal dialogue. Yes, Denji kind of, as he's kind of, scratching his back and going towards the washroom, he kind of, looks outside and he sees that Aki's already out and about. And he remarks about him being up so early, but that's about it. And you see that Denji is adapting, that he is changing, that he is being respectful of Aki, right? He has adapted to that living style, right? He is respectful. Now, the thing that was so wholesome about this, and the thing I just love so much, is how, Denji is kind of teaming up with Aki, right? As Power comes in as this agent of chaos and upsetting the balance of their living conditions, right? At first, it was Denji not too long ago, but then he learned, he adapted, became respectful. Now, he gets a dose of it. And he sees just how annoying it is, right? So I love seeing him kind of backing Aki, right? I love seeing how respectful he is of food. Listen, Denji grew up really respecting food, right? He wasn't picky, not picky at all. After that early phase of maybe just, going all out, right? Yes, he still makes his super toast, but in a respectful manner, right? You see all the lids are back on the jam. I just love this. I love this, right? You're seeing actual growth already. And, this whole cat and dog dynamic that was kind of clearly established through Denji and Power, right? Them two being these opposite personalities. Denji, like I mentioned, kind of becomes domesticated. He knows how to listen, right? And then you have Power coming in, instigating the dog. The cat instigating the dog, essentially. Trolling him and kind of upsetting that balance, right? And now Denji is also kind of a little bit chaotic through her introduction to that living space. And of course, Aki's whole situation, even though, he clearly kind of got a grasp on it by kind of domesticating Denji, right? And he told him as much, have a condition, listen to me, I've been around. I know about the social ethics. You're still a bit raw. He didn't say it in that manner, but essentially, yeah, you're a bit raw. Let me help you. Listen to me, right? I've been around. So, I mentioned the potential Aki being this older brother figure, hoping for that. I'm getting signs of that. I'm getting some signs of that here, right? You can kind of see that gradually Aki is kind of growing fond of Denji's company, right? And there's even that great moment as he's thinking back to the people, just normal people, civilians, talking about thanking this chainsaw man who was also clearly in uniform, right? So you can see there are aspects of Denji that Aki is coming to kind of, grow fond of, right? Yeah, he still thinks he's immature, he's a bit of a dumbass, but, I think there's enough there to kind of signify, okay, he's open to kind of teaching him. And even in the hospital room, right, you see that Aki is cutting up that apple into slices, all cute, making it look all cute, right? At first, I kind of thought maybe those are meant to be Power's horns, but maybe it's just supposed to be like a cute bunny or something, right? Little fox, fox ears or something. But you see that he's putting in an effort. Now, it totally could be because he's used to that, right? Maybe he's used to coming into a hospital room quite a bit, because of other partners ending up there. Because you see, he really is quite efficient. He's really quite quick at it, right? And again, the hand animation. Oh my goodness, him chopping up that apple, or slicing open the skin, the apple skin, or be it the potato skin during the slice of life segment, the morning routine. It's just so beautifully detailed. It's so beautiful to look at. This whole anime, this whole episode, right? It continues that trend. Again, the standard is just so high on this that I'm not even able to really compare it to many other anime, really. Only, Vinland Saga is maybe the only one that I can really compare it to. And I've stated a few times, but this is like anime film quality, stuff that's meant to be for the big screen, right? The effort that's being put into this. It really is quite the treat. It really is. And, again, it shines during that morning routine, right? And, the sound design and the sound mixing of that scene as well. Oh, my goodness, in the beginning as he kind of goes outside, right? Or not in the beginning, as he goes outside, he's got the coffee and newspaper in hand. You could just, if you listen, and it's not just for that moment, throughout the episode, even in the hospital scene, if you listen, there's always something going on in the background. But him going outside, you just get those natural sights and sounds, right? You hear the airplane above, flying above, and then you hear like just normal things you hear outside, right? Just cars, and just the hustle of the city. And beyond the morning routine scene, the sound mixing and sound design's been really quite, noticeable since day one, since episode 1, right? I'm just kind of mentioning it for that scene, but it applies to everything, really. It's been most impressive, and I love the transitioning from one phenomenal track to another, right? That in itself is also really quite impressive. And of course, the voice acting continues to be fantastic, including for the devil characters, be it the zombie devil, be it the bat devil, be it the leech devil, all of them, they all have great personality, great character designs, and great voice acting. Right? It's not as if, it's considered like the secondary like element to it, right? They'll get anyone to do it. those voices are just as good. You know, those performances are just as good as anything else in this anime. And, you know, I get a new character. I mean, I get a bunch of new ones, but the one that was the standout was the eye patch lady. The voice acting for her already, you know, it's so engaging, right? It's engaging. It really is. Like many of the other really fantastic voice acting performances so far, you know, engaging being the key term. But yeah, eye patch lady or girl, she didn't seem that much older than Aki, maybe around the same age, maybe even younger. I'm not sure, but it's always great to see more new characters show up. I believe I've seen her in the opening, maybe even in the ending, in ending number 3, maybe. The eye patch, you know, it feels like I've seen her. I've seen her, quick glimpses of her. I think everyone's essentially present in the opening, right? Especially in the movie theater scene. They're all kind of switching out. And in the back, you can kind of see a few quite interesting characters, right? Again, one of them that kind of looked like a doll. One of them seemed to have a shark on its head, on his or her head. But yeah, you know, there was even someone that appeared to be an angel type character, right? So a lot of interesting characters in those opening moments, or in the opening. So there's clearly many more really interesting characters to come. But yeah, you know, great first impression, I'd say. I can't quite remember the name. I'm sure I'll get it in the next few episodes. But, you know, the other two, the rookies, in my mind, you know, I couldn't help but think of these as the types of characters that usually end up dying a brutal death. You know, I don't know if I'm even remotely close on that, but that's the feeling I was getting from those characters. Not quite red shirts, kind of like Isabel and Farlon from No Regrets. You know, if you know, you know. But yeah, going back to the new living situation, right? Makima has moved power in with Aki and Denji, right? After this kind of newfound flexibility that she's noticed in Aki, right? And, you know, it'll be interesting to see the types of orders that Aki and this group might be receiving from this point on. You know, that Aki and Makima scene is really quite interesting, isn't it? For many reasons. I mean, first of all, yes, she allows it, doesn't she? You know, after kind of having that conversation with Denji in the hospital room, he omitted Power's betrayal, right, from his report. Though, of course, you know, Makima sees right through this, right? I think that much was clear. But, you know, there's this moment, she kind of makes it known that, okay, I kind of know, right? Or not kind of, she knows. She's subtle about it, but, you know, not too subtle that Aki's not going to understand, because I think even Aki kind of understood that she's letting this pass, right? She makes it known that she understands that, you know, he is kind of lying here a little bit, but, you know, it's not as simple as just that, right? She also saw an opening here. She saw something interesting happen here, right? You know, something she might be able to use to her advantage, perhaps. Again, you know, she's still kind of shrouded in mystery, and her motives. Her true motives are still, you know, kind of locked behind a chest. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get much insight on Makima anytime soon. And I'm fine. I'm fine with that, right? Right now, it's still the early stages. It's all building towards something. You know, it's establishing a lot of its characters. And, you know, speaking of characters, that new living condition or living situation, right? Having power now introduced into that mix. Oh my goodness, that is going to be so much fun. It's going to be a blast, right? Yes, you know, Aki is going to struggle, as, you know, he called her up almost immediately, but then, you know, Makima knows how to control Aki as well, or how to, you know, get him to comply, right? You know, Aki, yes, even if it wasn't clear before, it's certainly clear now that he also seems to be simping a bit for Makima. He seems to have feelings for Makima, though of course I think he also has respect, right? That whole element of, you know, her saving him comes in as well, but, you know, there's the other side as well. And, you know, you can't blame him. You can't blame him. She is really quite impressive. She is really quite attractive. Her aura is really quite attractive, isn't it? And she knows this about Aki. She clearly knows this. And, you know, she knows how to use that. But, you know, a good balance of character types, the right type of characters, you know, the right dynamic of characters together makes for great chemistry. And, you know, it's giving us that now, right? It's giving us that by putting these characters together, right? And all the different character dynamics, you know, be it Power and Denji, be it Aki and Denji, be it Aki and Power, and then, you know, all of those different mixes together. It's going to be so much fun. I can just tell. But beyond that, there's going to be a lot of growth. I think a lot of growth, and just like Denji's life is already changing. I think the same is going to happen for Power, because she is now also going to experience human connection, right? In close proximity, and just recently she learned about herself that. Oh, I mean, not recently. It felt recently because they showed us the backstory recently. She is able to care about other beings, right? And she even surprised herself learning this about herself. So the capacity is there, I think, and the potential to have respect for others, or these humans and their perspective. I think the openings for that are already there, kind of, right? And the cold open is essentially another look at her backstory, right? First of all, it's a beautiful cold open. It's a beautiful moment altogether, right? The kind of depicting and showcasing that relationship she's able to build with Miaoi, this other creature, right? And at the heart of it, blood. Yes, blood is something that she has an infatuation with. Being the blood devil and all, or the blood fiend now, I guess, or it used to be the blood devil, now it's a fiend, but the infatuation remains. But she was able to kind of understand something else, something more important about that allure of blood. That it's actually warm, right? And there's something quite pleasant about that, right? And I loved how it transitions to that one shot of her cuddling with Miaoi, right? That lovely exchange of body heat, right? Of course, the blood that's running through both of them. So I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful moment. There is just something so undeniably incredible and enticing about that warm touch. And, like I mentioned before, Denji seems to also have that unconscious desire of, longing for that, warmth of a loving touch. So, they can understand each other. I think there is already an indication that Power kind of does have an understanding for Denji, or is beginning to understand Denji, right? Especially that final scene. She really leans into it, doesn't she? The deal they made. I love how she's kind of depicted as this queen of the tits on the porcelain throne, right? And he's bowing down to the queen. But yeah, it's a really fun scene, isn't it? That final scene. And she's really, really hamming it up, grabbing her own boob and like, come on, just bouncing them up and down. But post cold open, there's quite a long segment, right? It's a fight that I simply was not expecting, right after the fight in the last episode. Now listen, the fight itself, it looked fantastic. It did. Of course, it continues to have this amazing animation. But I must admit, again, it's a personal thing, but I didn't quite find that fight as engaging as the Bat Devil fight, perhaps. Maybe because, I wasn't really looking to have a fight so soon after the last fight. If I'm being honest, in my mind, I was really kind of thinking, okay, come on, wrap this up so I could get to the character moments, right? So I could get to the slice of life moments even. Listen, I can totally enjoy some of the action elements, and, I really, really enjoyed that Bat Devil fight for sure in the last episode. And I can, I could totally see how this is impressive as well. But, ultimately, I do gravitate towards the character moments, right? Give me that slice of life montage any day over a fight scene, So as long as there's a good balance of that, as long as I'm getting the character moments as well, I'm more than happy to check out the action parts, right? Or the action segments. It is quite impressive, It's just that this time I was really hoping for it to kind of wrap up, because I just had a major fight scene in the last episode. But yeah, the Leech Devil, quite the personality. Like I mentioned, these devils are so unique. And, that's one element I'm really excited about, right? I kind of talk about some of the potential devils I could see, because the possibilities seem to be endless, right? All based on fear. That is something I'm really excited about. Seeing new devils and different types of devils, right, show up on screen. And those character designs and the voice acting, that excites me. That certainly excites me. And then because of that, the fight sequences become even more exciting as well then, right? Now, there's this really great moment, the dream battle, as he kind of declares it, right? The dream battle. Now, ultimately, he ends up losing that dream battle, doesn't he? Aki had to come in and kind of summon Khan, right? And how goddamn cool was that sequence? How incredible did that sequence look? They show it to us in trailer number 2, but it was still so fantastic to see it on screen like that. But yeah, then there's that element, right? The contract with the Fox Devil, right? So I need more details on that and how that came to be, right? Yeah, he gives us a little bit, there's a little bit of exposition, that is essentially feeding off of him anytime he summons it, right? It is a contract after all, there is an equal exchange in that sense. Now, it kind of manifested, right? As he calls upon it, it kind of manifested and, once again, even more like Megumi in that sense, right? Calling up this dog. I mean, not a dog, it's a fox. And it's a damn cool looking fox as well, right? Covered in eyes. And the voice acting, it kind of manifested and it was just the head. It just kind of comes and goes, doesn't it? And, notice how it's asking permission to swallow the leech devil, right? It was asking Aki's permission to swallow. So, it's a contract, but there is, in terms of the power dynamics there is something interesting going on there. So I don't know if this devil exists in a different plane, right? Alongside other devils maybe, or maybe there's some kind of, it's kind of being held or kept or freely moving around in some other location. And then, upon being called, it can kind of go in and out, right? And kind of disappears in a poof of smoke as well. The thing is, there could be many other contracts in play already, but us, the audience, doesn't even know it yet, right? So yeah, it's a really exciting prospect introducing that now. But yeah, the whole concept of the price that has to be paid to use these powers, there's a lot of potential there. And I'm excited to learn more about that and how that's utilized in this story from this point on as well. Now, kind of quickly going back to Makima and Aki's conversation, or his report to Makima, he mentioned, or he specified, that they didn't find any traces of the gun flesh in the heads of the Bat Devil or the Leech Devil, right? So yeah, so gun flesh, that is something really quite unique, right? Really quite descriptive, isn't it? Pairing those two things up, gun and flesh. So I don't know, man, is this alluding to the existence of a potential gun devil, right? Is it kind of alluding to that right now? Because clearly it's something that, that's been done, because clearly this is something they've been looking out for, right? So that's really quite descriptive, isn't it? Gun flesh. So yeah, keeping that in mind, let's see if, this is alluding to a type of devil, perhaps, right? And, it appears to be something they kind of look out for. It's part of their, I don't know, cleanup. But, essentially you see that Aki is taking care of like siblings at this point, young siblings. So, maybe in that sense, this is his new family, right? They alluded to the fact that he lost his entire family and Makima is the one who saved him. In some, I don't know, maybe it's not twisted per se, but, maybe this is Makima kind of giving him a family, right? It's quite the dysfunctional family at that, but, it is a semblance of a family, and I do feel like there is some growth or change in Aki already as well, because up until this point, Aki really did feel like a prime example of a flat character arc, or a change agent, essentially, instigating change in others. And he's done that. I think he's already kind of done that for characters like Denji, and I think he's going to continue doing that as well, especially for Power as well now. But I think, there's clearly potential for growth within Aki as well, change within Aki as well. So, I think I'll have to kind of move on from that idea of him potentially being exclusively a flat character arc, or, this change agent. But yeah, I think that's about it for this one, folks. So, it's great to see that, Denji's Unity arc kind of continues the contour of his metamorphosis from the beginning state of being to the ending state, right? So that continues. And you know, like I mentioned earlier, you know, and I think it's a perfect place to bookend it. You know, his growth, Denji's growth. I'm so in. I'm really so in. And you know, alongside Denji, many of these other characters as well, right? Great set of characters, great ensemble cast, and it appears to be adding on to that, right? Episode by episode, even. So yeah, you know, it's exciting. It really is. Right then, if you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. Consider subscribing to the channel if you really appreciate the content. But you know, even just dropping comments and dropping a like, that really helps the channel out quite a bit. It does. You could totally help the channel just by doing those things. But if you are interested in full length, timer-based full length, of course, and perhaps full opacity, again, no opacity mask, to, you know, kind of protect myself from potential copyright strikes on the channel, because the anime can be tricky like that. If you're interested in any of those things, consider checking out the Patreon page. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. And also there's links to social media if that's your thing, you know, things like Twitter, Instagram. Whoo, okay, right then. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your time, as time is precious. Time is precious. And I do hope to see you again soon for the next one. Until then, take it easy.